Hey everyone, Joe with Humanfluence, here to talk about the dark night of the soul and the dark side of spirituality that not many speak of. In our quest for enlightenment, we often traverse luminous paths illuminated by the divine light of spirituality, yet it is incumbent upon us as diligent explorers of the esoteric realms to acknowledge that every beam of light casts a shadow. Thus we must turn our gaze to the darker side of spirituality, a domain seldom spoken of yet profoundly impactful upon our soul and spirits. The journey towards spiritual awakening is fraught with perilous pitfalls, where the purest intentions can be ensnared by the insidious forces of deception and malevolence. These forces, veiled in the guise of enlightenment, seek to divert us from our true path, leading us astray into the abyss of illusion and falsehood. The seduction of power, the allure of forbidden knowledge, and the temptations of ego gratification are but a few of the treacherous currents that we must navigate with discernment and vigilance. Consider the tale of Lucifer, the bringer of light, who in his pride fell from grace. This ancient allegory serves as a stark reminder that the pursuit of divine wisdom, if not tempered by humility and moral fortitude, can lead to our downfall. The mystic's path is lined with the bones of those who, intoxicated by their proximity to the divine, succumb to the darker impulses of their nature. We must also confront the shadow within ourselves, the subconscious forces that, if left unchecked, can corrupt our spiritual pursuits. The unacknowledged fears, unresolved traumas, and hidden desires can manifest as spiritual delusions, leading us to project our inner darkness onto the external world. This phenomenon, known as spiritual bypassing, is a subtle yet pervasive danger that can derail our progress and entrap us in a cycle of self-deception. Moreover, let us not overlook the societal shadows cast by spirituality, the exploitation of spiritual authority, the manipulation of vulnerable souls, the propagation of dogmas that serve to control rather than liberate our dark manifestations of a corrupted spirituality. As guardians of truth, we must remain ever vigilant against such abuses, championing a spirituality that is pure, liberating, and inclusive. In this solemn reflection, let us pledge to embrace the full spectrum of our spiritual journey, acknowledging the light and the shadow alike. For it is only by facing the darkness with courage and integrity that we can truly illuminate the path to enlightenment, transforming both ourselves and the world in the process. Let us proceed then with eyes wide open and hearts fortified, ever mindful of the dual nature of our quest, and ever striving to embody the highest ideals of our spiritual being and our calling. Having explored the dark side of spirituality, we must now turn our gaze inward to the dark aspects of man himself, for within each of us lies a labyrinth of shadowed corridors, where the basest instincts and most sinister impulses reside. This exploration is not for the faint of heart, yet it is essential for true knowledge, self-knowledge that is, and our evolution. In every man there exists a duality, a constant struggle between the noble and the ignoble, the virtuous and the vile. This duality is the essence of our human experience, a reflection of the cosmic balance of light and darkness. To understand this is to grasp the profound complexity of our nature. Let us delve into the dark aspects of man with the clarity and depth that our quest demands. We start with the shadow of the ego. At the heart of the darkness lies the ego, a relentless force that drives us to seek dominance, recognition, and validation. The ego with its insatiable hunger can lead us to acts of profound selfishness and cruelty. It blinds us to the interconnectedness of all beings, fostering separation and conflict. The unchecked ego is a tyrant, reigning over our thoughts and actions, distorting our perception of reality and our place within it. Then there's the abyss of fear. Fear is another potent element of our darkness, a primal force that can paralyze the spirit and warp the mind. It breeds distrust, intolerance, and aggression, compelling us to build walls around our hearts and minds. Fear of the unknown, fear of the other, and fear of our own inadequacies can lead to hatred and violence, perpetuating a cycle of suffering and division. To conquer our fears, we must confront them with courage and compassion, transforming them into sources of strength and wisdom. Then there's the chains of desire. Desire in its myriad forms binds us to the material world, trapping us in an endless pursuit of pleasure and possession. This relentless craving can lead to addiction, exploitation, and moral decay. When our desires are unchecked, we become slaves to our appetites, sacrificing our higher ideals and spiritual aspirations on the altar of temporary gratification. It is through discipline and discernment that we can transcend the tyranny of desire, finding true fulfillment in the pursuit of virtue and wisdom. Then there's the shadows of the subconscious. Deep within the recesses of our minds lies the shadows of the subconscious mind, where repressed memories, traumas, and unresolved conflicts dwell. These hidden aspects of our psyche can manifest as irrational fears, compulsive behaviors, and destructive patterns. To navigate these shadowy waters, we must engage in introspection and self-analysis, bringing the hidden into the light of conscious awareness. Only then can we heal and integrate these aspects of ourselves, achieving a harmonious balance between the conscious and the unconscious. And then there's the temptations of power. Power, whether over oneself or others, is a double-edged sword. It can be a force for the greater good, enabling us to enact positive change and uplift those around us. Yet the temptation to abuse power for personal gain, control, or dominance is ever present. History is replete with examples of individuals who, intoxicated by power, have wrought suffering and destruction. To wield power responsibly, we must cultivate humility, empathy, and a steadfast commitment to justice and the common good. In this deep and nuanced exploration of our inner darkness, we uncover the intricate and often troubling facets of humanity. It is through this unflinching self-examination that we can hope to transcend our limitations and evolve to our highest potential. Let us, therefore, embrace this journey with unwavering resolve, ever mindful of the shadows that dwell within us. We must acknowledge and integrate these dark aspects and transform them into sources of strength and wisdom, illuminating our path to a more enlightened existence. Let us be clear. It is not all love and light on this spiritual journey, for where there is light, there is also shadow. The path we tread is illuminated by the radiant glow of spiritual enlightenment, yet it is invariably accompanied by the shadows cast by our own imperfections and the darker aspects of our nature. This shadow is not to be shunned or ignored. It is to be confronted and understood. By facing our own darkness, the ego's tyranny, the abyss of fear, the chains of desire, the shadows of our subconscious, and the temptations of power, we can transmute these base elements into the gold of wisdom and virtue. Understand, then, that the acknowledgement of the shadow is not a resignation of its power, but a call to integrate and transcend it. An invitation to embrace the totality of our being, to reconcile the dualities within us, and to emerge as enlightened beings. It is here where we respect the shadow, honor the light, knowing that both are essential to our growth and evolution. May we walk this path with integrity, wisdom, and a deep reverence for the profound mysteries of our existence. Humanfluence, out.